Okay, heading out from home to Westside of Edinburg to campus, the social work building on campus. Using the Insta360 1R camera, 1080p, 60 frames a second. Coming up to the stop sign. Gonna hang a left on Saker. There's a cat. Meow. Next street is Aura Street. Gonna hang a right on Aura. With these, with just the streets around our house, I have absolutely no problem just riding in the street. I feel safe. Cars see you. It's totally fine, and I recommend you do the same. Then hanging a right here, I believe this is Ema Street. So just like a little short block on Aura, then hang a right on Ema Street. And then gonna take this left onto Inez Street. And continue down to Monmac. So I think this route I'm showing is probably the most optimal route. Probably the best route to get to campus from the west side of Edinburg. I've looked at a lot of different routes, and I might try a few more, but this was pretty easy with a little bit of sketchiness, like in some parts, but it wasn't bad at all. Like, I was a little bit surprised that it was as easygoing as it was, because the city just seems so unbike friendly. But it was fine, and I was like happy to see that at least on this trip here and back to campus, like I didn't have any problem with cars not seeing me or like anything like that. That was fine. And then hanging a right here on the Monmac, you can kind of just go here and look out for pedestrians, of course. I'm crossing the street right away just because I looked and it was clear. You can go down a bit, but it's just good to get over to the other side because that's where you need to be. When it's busier, the traffic will probably start piling up a little bit on Monmac, especially like when school's getting out. I'm hanging a left here, cutting through the this is the dentist, pediatric dentist, and or family dentist and pediatric office. Cutting through. Now this is a Saturday that I'm doing this. I don't think I would do that on a weekday. I'd probably just instead go straight to Freddie G rather than cutting through, just because there'll be more traffic in there on a weekday, people backing out and stuff. Then hang a left here, and now we're on Freddie G. And of course, you know how Freddie G is. That sidewalk is just right. Like if they opened up a bike lane where the grass is, that would be perfect. That's not how it is. But honestly, like riding bike, I didn't really like. You're sitting up pretty high on the bike, so you're sitting like where people are in their cars. I feel like you're pretty visible. Yeah, I didn't feel too nervous with the cars there. This right here, there's a big chunk, there's a big pothole there. Like you gotta watch out. You don't want to just slam into that with any sort of force. That could fling you off the bike. There's that boulevard on the left side of the screen. That little side street that runs parallel where I came off that walk cut. You can go over to that if you want, just to get off Freddie G for a bit. Again, I didn't mind being on Freddie G, so I just stayed. There's this truck turn, but they saw me, so all is good. Then continuing on Freddie G, they really need to cut the grass here. So if I were to encounter a pedestrian here, I would just kind of ride off into the grass. You can ride into that grass. It's not. You can ride and continue moving too. It's not gonna slow you down much. But they really need to take care of the sidewalk there. It should be. It's probably the city's problem. And then once we cross this one, then we get the nice. Get that grassy boulevard on the right that acts as a separator, and that's nice. And I'm heading east on Freddie Gonzalez towards Monmouth. So extending the bike infrastructure, the pedestrian pathway that goes along Freddie G from Sugar, and I believe now with the extension they're putting, it'll go all the way to the stadium, the new whatever they name that new stadium there, the UTRGV stadium, I believe it is. If they would extend that down this other way, extend it to 23rd, extend it at least to Bicentennial, that would be very much needed and welcome in infrastructure. You see here, this is where you gotta be careful. This was Saturday morning, 11 a.m., so there's no traffic coming out, but a lot of times there's traffic going in and coming out of that strip mall area there. So just be mindful. People who are making right turns out of there are sometimes they're just not looking at what's coming from their right side. They're looking to the left for oncoming traffic. So just gotta be mindful and wait for them, or just until it's clear that they see you and are letting you continue. This was a really strong headwind when I was doing this. Like, I was not making good time. I wasn't really trying to either, but pretty strong wind coming in here. So this is at about 7 minutes 45 seconds to get from our house to McCall. And now crossing McCall, I just wait till the green arrow's done or there's no cars turning left, and then just crossing with the traffic running parallel. That person making the right turn saw me and was waiting for me. This is probably the area where, again, this is 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, so there's not much traffic, but this is an area where I would be more concerned. And just more cautious. Not concerned, just cautious. Here's a truck coming out. They see me. They're gonna stop right there. You see, I slowed down there, and they saw me too. And this car making the right turn saw me. But those big trucks, man, they're scary. Like, if you're in front of them, they're not seeing you. So just give them room. This part's all good. It's nice. There's a little bit of a grass buffer plus the bike lane. Now that bike lane is like, I don't like being in that bike lane. There's one on the other side of the street too, which is the one you should be if you're traveling this direction. But there's no way I would ride. People are driving 45 miles, 50 miles an hour down the street. There's no way I would turn my back to that. Like, it's just not enough room. If somebody's distracted driving, you'd be dead if you got hit by a car. So I feel like the sidewalk, and this sidewalk in particular, is the safest option. The HEB is on the other side of the street there, and there's so much traffic always coming in and out of that. So I wouldn't ride on the other side of the street. And there's not even a sidewalk. If you cross at McCall to the other side of the street there, to try and go by the HEB, head in this direction down Freddie G. There's not even like a sidewalk going by the gas station there, and you're just kind of riding through a gas station parking lot where there's lots of traffic. This is a little sketchy here with those cars parked there. They could be backing out and not really looking, but everyone has backup cameras. This bridge is very narrow. Um, yeah, I kind of do a balancing act. Make sure you don't hit your pedals on those steel posts there. You do a little off-road section here. Come over that grass. It's not bad. It's easy to do. This goes by a residential cross street in a gated community. So relatively, shouldn't be two cars too often there. Continuing on, east down, Freddy Gonzalez. The sidewalk is fine. There's some like there was like a big like bump where the sidewalk's buckled, but it's not anything that you gotta worry about. Here the sidewalk is out on this cutaway here. I chose to go off road and then hop off the curb. The safer bet would just be get off your bike and walk it across here, whatever you're comfortable with, and hop back on the sidewalk. Now, similarly with pedestrians here, I guess if there's no cars coming, I could hop off into that bike lane, but then you'd have to wait for a driveway cut or like get back up on the curb. But if you just go off into the grass to the side, there's plenty of room if you encounter a pedestrian. And we're at Jackson Street at 12 minutes. 12 minutes, 20 seconds, get to Jackson. I still have a little bit of time left on the clock on the walk counter here, so I took it. And now going north on Jackson, this is really the crown jewel of Edinburgh's pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure in town. This is a wonderful, really smooth, fast pedestrian path here. And it's fun. It's you can go quick. Again, at this time of day, there's no one really there. So I had L to myself, really. But you don't have to care at all about the traffic, which is nice. There's even a bike lane there, too. Must have been from before they put this in. You'll see the stop signs crossing these little side streets. A lot of these have stop signs. You don't have to come to a complete stop if there's no one coming, and the cars will probably let you go in front of them anyways, if there is a car there. When I took this on a Friday night, there's definitely more people out. Some people walking with dogs, probably to the dog park. A person with an unleashed dog, even. But I mean, you just go slower when you're going around people. It's all good. This there's a bump coming up right here that was like kind of tossed me a little bit, so just brace for it. Coming up on Bicentennial Park here on the right. There's the on the right. There's the park driveway. Goes around the park. A little shaded area there if you want a break. Ooh, there's a water fountain. I didn't even see it when I drove by, but it is there, so you can stop there and get a drink. Up there on the right, kind of off camera, is the dog park, and then the skate park is on the right there. And then we're coming up to Sprague or Sprague, I'm not sure pronunciation of it. This is a real nice turn here that they did. People turning right from Jackson onto Sprague. They really have to go around that wide turn. So if you were out in the traffic, they have a lot of time to see you, and they'd be at a relatively low speed. So that's like it's very well designed right there with pedestrians in mind, which makes sense. It's right next to a park, so but good job on the city for that, thinking through that. Now I noticed that there's people kind of just running through that red light. Like as it turned red, they're still like running through to make that right turn. Which I don't think they would. Well, hopefully not if they see you coming, but once those cars are done making the left turn, then I get the walk signal. And that's a 15-second walk signal there. Some cones, I couldn't really tell what was blocking off, but there's nothing dangerous there. Continuing north on Jackson Road, heading towards University Avenue. Now this one I did spot the nice shaded area here with a water fountain. This is just fantastic infrastructure that's shaded and has water in South Texas. This is just wonderful to see. I wish these were all over the city. I wish a bike path like this was on every major thoroughfare. It'd make the city so much easier to get around without using a car. Again, this road here, like the pathway is just perfect for biking. I was going at a pretty decent clip here. Weather was nice. This was probably 80 some degrees, a little bit humid, but when you're just moving and have the air going on you, like I didn't feel like it was too hot by any means. I wish I would have worn sunblock, but it wasn't that bad out. Coming up here will be the post office on the right. It wasn't too busy when I rode by, but that can be busy there, so just be mindful of people exiting and entering that. There is no stop sign there for the bike path. And then here's the other driveway for the post office. Continuing on, and our next intersection or major intersection will be University. You see that green sign there. On the left is University Drive. And McDonald's here, that can be busy, so be mindful of that. And you come around here and you got a nice walk signal. And this one is about 30 seconds plenty of time to get across either by foot or definitely on bike. But even if you were walking your bike, like you got 30 seconds to get across, so it's fine. Just be aware that people may be trying to creep into that right lane to make a right hand turn there. People are turning into this gas station. Like, that guy's not seeing me. That Mustang isn't seeing me. Mustangs are a bit notorious for running people over. So, again, just, driving defensively here. They need to cut this tree that's blocking the bike path there. I had to go the other lane. Lots of driveways here. So it's just an area to be like extra alert of who's turning in and who's coming out. The bike path divides here. It's nice to ride in the shade from that wall there. I saw a pedestrian coming down the shaded part here, so I went on the other side just so they could keep walking in the shade and not have to worry about me coming their way. Again, north on Jackson Road, and what I'm looking for, and I had never taken the road but I'd seen it on the map, is that there's like kind of a back street that cuts over to the university, which is what I was keeping an eye out for. It's an unnamed road. I was trying to find the name of it anywhere on the maps and stuff, and I didn't see a street post there or anything, so I'm not sure that the road has a name. But it's definitely the thing to take. Definitely the way to take. Just have it all to myself, so real nice, easy cruising. And here, so I should have gone right, turned right on that sidewalk there, but I just missed it because I wasn't sure if this was the road. And I'm like, yeah, that was the road. So I just went on the street, but this is a very low speed limit here and zero traffic density, especially on the weekend. But even during the weekday, these are like far off buildings on campus that no one's really gonna be going to even during the school week. So I mean, I'm sure there's some more traffic than now. It's gonna always be fairly chill. We have like the intramural fields here. Some people are playing soccer today, and then it opens up into this nice. You got a 10-foot wide path here. It's wonderful. I mean, maybe if there's some like sports going on with the crowd, there would be more people walking on this, but I think anytime you're commuting, you would have this nearly all to yourself here and really not have to worry about crossing paths or getting out of the way of pedestrians or anything. We're at 24 minutes here coming onto campus, so it was about probably 19 minutes to get to University Drive. And this just keeps going. So I'm heading east here towards Sugar Road. That's going to be where this terminates, is at Sugar Road. On the right there, that's the Texas Center for Manufacturing Assistance Center. It has center twice in the name. Now this is nice. This is a new infrastructure here. It used to be, as far as I can tell, looking like at the maps, it was just a like it just was a grassy little separator separating the two parking lots, but they changed it into this big 10-foot wide walkway here. It's really nice to bike down. And this here is Sugar Road that I'm coming out on. So I'm gonna head south for a little bit on Sugar. Right, turn there, south on Sugar. And what I'm doing is just going over to where there's a pedestrian crosswalk with a light on it, so we can get a walk signal on that. And there's always a lot of traffic on this stretch too, so it's real nice that they have the light there. So here, if you can't see the like the walk light, just wait until you see the car stop, basically, which is what you should do anyways, honestly. Like, I don't even trust the walk light because people might run that anyways. So there, I got the walk light crossing, and on to the main campus here, heading down this diagonal path towards the Bronx Trail, the covered trail on campus. In here they have signs up that say like no bikes, no scooters allowed on the Bronx Trail, because it was Saturday. There's no one there, so I just rode it. But if you're coming during the day, I would just hop off, especially if it's between classes. Then hang a left here on the first. It'll be like your first left off of the Bronx Trail. It goes by all that nice new landscaping they put in there. This walkway isn't too wide, so just you gotta be mindful here of others walking around. Then up on the right, out of view, is like the big like circle area, center of campus area. I'm just taking this till it ends at the library, or near the library. Then hook a right, then first left to go towards the library. Sprinkler got me a little bit. Library's on the left here. My office building is on the right, the EIEAB building. Come around through here. My camera got kind of messed up. There it is. And then that's the social work building right in front there. So you can just ride up to that, and that's where you'd stop. Okay, heading back home. School of social work. Back home to Blackhawk Street. In good time. I had stopped at my building there just to get some water, and came back over here, taking off, and doing the same route back. over here, my building's on the left there, library's on the right. Same route back, gotta just kind of zig and zag to get to this kind of main sidewalk that you go on for a bit through campus. Again, that big circle, the middle of campus is on the left there that I'm riding by right now. And the new landscaping is on the right. Squirrel. And you get to the Bronx Trail here and take a right. When you get to the corner of the Bronx Trail, you do like a soft left turn to take the diagonal path. I'll go back to Sugar Road. Right after the concrete ball, hang a left, soft left. Dorms are on the left there, and just open space on the right. Coming up to the same walk signal. I saw the person across the street there had pushed the button, so. And like right when you push it, it like changes real quick, like as long as, you know, if it hasn't been pushed in a while, it'll like turn right away for students. Scooter guy, hang a right, go north on Sugar Road. And here you just want like pay attention to like where you have to make that left turn back to that wide pathway that heads back to Jackson. So right after, there's this sign here that's lot E38. Hang a left right after that sign, and then you're on that nice wide 10-foot wide pathway that'll take you all the way back to Jackson Road. So I'm heading west here on, I don't know, I guess this is just a walkway, and then it turns into a street, but that again is an unnamed street, so you won't be able to like find it by searching for it in Google Maps or something. But just follow the big wide sidewalk past the T-Mac building on the left there. And then past the sports fields on the left there. Not sure what's on the right. I know it's on the sidewalk, but you could be in the street. Yeah, I think even during regular school day hours, there's never going to be anyone driving, or very few people driving down this street, so it's fine. My camera kept slipping a lot more on the ride home. I think the zip ties just got a little loose. It's probably about a half mile total between Sugar Road and Jackson Road. Maybe a little more. And now we're back at Jackson Road, so I'm gonna head south on that. Back down the glorious bike path. So that bike lane in the street too, that's pretty wide, like you're not close to cars at all. It's nice. It's real nice riding on this. Again, heading south on Jackson Road towards University. Getting back into those driveway cuts here, we gotta really pay attention to who's coming and who's going. Here I have a car that's not backing up for me, so I just went around them here. Just fine. They're first, I guess, but they're kind of blocking my path. Pushing this button. And I'll cut the video here because I think I had to wait for a bit. So now I can go. It was about, probably 2 minutes or so waiting for that light. I mean, at this point I was getting a little tired, so I didn't mind the waits at the lights. McDonald's on the left here. One thing is there's a Peter Piper on the other side of the street, and I know there's it's at the corner of Jackson and University, and I know there's a bus stop there. Here's the McDonald's driveway cut. Be careful there. There's a bus stop at that Peter Piper's, and I believe it's the bus that serves. It makes like a T going down University, and then I think it goes down Klossner, and it'll like go by the library and stuff. So good one to know. It goes to like all the retail that's on Trenton by the highway. I think it's called like the Edinburg like retail line or something like that, because it hits all of University, and then you can get to all the strip malls there by the highway off of Trenton. Going by the post office on the left there. Then a car coming here out of the post office, blocking and also not seeing me, or not caring that I was there, and I was not about to try and go in front of that person, so I just waited there, and they weren't too long, so I just waited for them and then went. This is the same guy I passed earlier further up. Heading south on Jackson Road towards Sprague Street is my next major intersection. I'm coming up on that nice little shaded bench and water fountain area. A really nice place to just stop for a minute. That is just glorious, especially at this point. I was like hot, and the weather was warmer now too. The sun was just blasting me a bit. So to have that water fountain there was really something. It was good. A plus. Highly recommended. Maybe I'll go on Google Maps and like rate that 5 out of 5 stars. Push the button for like a couple seconds, the water cools down a little bit too. It's fantastic. Coming up on Sprague, just a couple cones there. I'm not sure what they're blocking off, but get my stop button there, and I think this one I had to wait for a few minutes too. I'll cut the video. And got my light. Making my way across Sprague and continuing on the bike path on Jackson Road heading south to Freddie G is the next major intersection. And again here there's all those you go across you cross a bunch of streets, little cul-de-sacs, residential areas and such. The Bicentennial Park is on the left here. Another water fountain right there. Covered area there. Which will probably like be much more needed, you know, doing this in July versus November. Stop sign there for the bike path, but just keeping an eye out. I think there was a person that pulled up there and they saw me and they stopped well before. I don't know if it was that one or the next one, but they saw me and stopped way before. I think the people that probably live in these cul-de-sacs who are going across the bike path all the time are really in tune to like there's a good chance there's somebody coming, and you know I'm going pretty slow, but I imagine some more serious bikers are going at a pretty good clip. So my guess would be that most of the residents off of this bike path are aware and are cautious about not running over people. And there's a path there that I want to check out at some point. I was running low on energy and was kind of hot at this point. I had a headwind going there, going east on Freddie G, and now I still had a headwind heading south on Jackson. Like I don't know if the wind changed directions or what, but it was like I was fighting the wind a bit here. And really until Freddie G. When I got back on Freddie G, then it was much easier traveling. Ted Cruz sign there. That probably won't be up after November 5th. I don't know what those signs are. And coming up to Freddie G again here. And gonna hang a right onto Freddie G. You can continue down Jackson, like this bike path goes for quite a ways. So I don't know, you have to see like what's down there that may be interesting, because there's a really good path that goes to it. So it might be worth exploring. I'll cut the video. And going across Jackson Road, down Freddie G, west on Freddie G. It's a little sketchy. There's a bump right here onto this sewer. Like, that's something to watch out for, because it's, you know, like a big sidewalk crack bump that will kind of throw you. Here you have the bike lane. And you could be in that traveling in that direction, but man, that bike lane is 3 feet wide. Maybe 4, I doubt 4, about 3 feet wide. And these cars are going, I mean, they're not going too bad here, but you know, people travel down this street at 40-50 miles an hour easily. Here, this is where the sidewalk is busted out there. So here I looked in back, and there's clear. There's all this sand here, so I don't actually recommend this. There's all that sand in the bike lane, which you can't really ride through easily. Like you could slip out on that. So I just rode a little bit and was, you know, close to the where the traffic would be in the bike lane, then came back as soon as I could back. I don't know. I just really recommend staying on the sidewalk here. I do not trust that bike lane. If that bike lane was 2 feet wider, I think it would be much more usable. But you know, with family at home, I'm not really wanting to risk any sort of getting run over at 45 miles an hour. Speed limit's too high here for sure. These cars are just flying by sometimes. Here's a little off-road. There's some ruts here. It's kind of bumpy. Take it slow, and then you come across this narrow bridge again. Gotta be real careful to not just hit your pedal on either side. But it's not too bad. This is narrow here too, but that's not too bad. This van is always parked here, and it blocks the sidewalk a bit. Now there's plenty of room still, but it is kind of annoying. Dumpster there on the left, kind of tight fit through here, but take it slow and it's not bad. Now again here, if encountering a pedestrian, somebody walking with dogs or something, or another bicyclist, I would just, you know, there's a lot of places where both people can kind of duck out into the grass. So not concerning. Eventually coming up here, I did see there's a guy walking his dog, and I was ready just to hop off into the grass. But then, as you'll see, he moved out into the road. So again, heading west on Freddie G towards McCall. Here's the guy with the dog coming up, and he sees me, and he just kind of, he had a really big, that's a pit bull there, so I think he was probably more concerned. I was ready to hop off in the grass, but he was probably more concerned about what his dog might do than I was, so he just got out of my way, I guess, which worked out, but not needed on his part. Going by the Walgreens there again, just being mindful of those driveways, because that's where people are coming in and out of a lot. Here, there's a sidewalk that goes off to the right here. I just cut through the grass towards the pole to hit the to get the light signal. So hit that, smash that. Those people are making left turns there. So now I saw there's no more people making left turns. The left turn signal was turning yellow. That guy was about to make a right turn, but then he saw me and stopped, so he didn't block the crosswalk. And back on Freddie G, heading west. Coffee shop there on the right. Camera's drooping. Yeah, I gotta figure out their filming solution if I want to make more of these to show you how to get around Edinburg and McAllen on bike. Here the wind was at my back, so it was nice easy cruising, which was welcomed for the last stretch. Let me get up here. I decided to take that little side street just to show you how it is. So cut through the grass here just a little bit to get to this little path, and then hook a left. And I'm not sure what this street's called, but it just runs right parallel to Freddie Gonzalez. You can see the traffic. There's Freddie G. The perpendicular street here goes into a gated community. That there won't be much traffic around that, but they don't have a stop sign or anything, so you just have to wait if there are people coming, and you can continue on. And then this other little side cut, which there'll never be cars coming down this other. It's like an alleyway here that goes back to the gated community. And then I just hop right back over to Freddie G. And this is like a little short stint where you don't have any. There's a big pothole there. You gotta get around that. A little short stint where those cars are coming right next to you, and got a small sidewalk. So just keep an eye out for pedestrians coming, because there's not much room for anyone to go, but just head off into the grass. And here I'm cutting again through the doctor's offices and lawyer's office. And coming out here onto Monmac. And Monmac's just like, if you're gonna have cars going 40 miles an hour, or more, the way Monmac's set up is fine. It's the bike lane here is 6 feet wide minimum. So like that car there didn't faze me at all. That's you don't feel like you're too close to cars here. I looked and then crossed over to the other side. The other side has the nice big fat bike lane as well. There's Inez Street that I'm passing. Could have gone down that, but I decided to go up one more to Aura, just to have a nice straight shot on that nice new paved way there. So I'd be a bit careful here, because people have to really inch out to see anyone coming, so be mindful of that. Left on Aura. This is that relatively newly paved street, so could just cruise here. This is one of the only areas where you could really throw down the third gear and not get feel any strain in my legs. I was just cruising 15 miles an hour. And I think I ran out of video then. Yep, video. Well, you know the way home from there. Left on Sicker, um, right on Blackhawk, and that's Sawyer. So I think I just maxed out my 1 hour recording limit or something there. So that's that. That's the commute to work and back.